Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today for y'all I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. And so this book is about these boys who are looking for magical ley lines in this small town called Henrietta where they all live. And then there's also this other girl, Blue. She's the daughter of the daughter of a psychic, but she has no abilities, special powers herself. And so she also has this not really, it's not a prophecy, but it's just she's been told all her life that whenever she kisses her true love, he'll die. And so there's this whole thing with that, and then there's this whole thing with the Raven Boys and how they're trying to look for magical ley lines to find this dead Welsh king who's, I guess, will grant a wish to whoever finds him, and their fates intertwine and it gets crazy. So yeah, so basically, basic information about this story. The book, it's by Maggie Stiefvater, obviously. It's gonna be a 4-book series if you don't already know that, and it's a very complex read. You need to pay attention to this as you read. You can't go along and be like, oh, I'm going to read a chapter a night while I'm reading my other books on top of that. Like, no, you can't do that. You need to read this and only this and focus on this, because if you don't, you will forget stuff, and if you forget stuff, that ending will confuse you. So don't do it, because as you can see here, I got like flags for days on this book. They're everywhere. And so yeah, basically pay attention. And now I'm going to get into more of the characters. So the characters, they're all very complex people. All of these people are very complex. Like, I love Blue's snarky aunt. I don't even remember her name, but she's super snarky. She's hilarious. She always adds like little side comments. And then her mom, Mora, she's like a parent. She's a pretty good parent, but she's really not a good parent, if you know what I mean. Like, she raises Blue and everything, but she doesn't really do anything she doesn't really tell Blue what to do. Like, I guess she has this moral, like, to let children do what they want. I don't know what she sees in her parenting, but she's just that type of person when it comes to her parenting. And then there's the Raven Boys. They all have different backgrounds and different pasts, relatively, especially one boy. You people who've read this book, you know that one boy I'm talking about, who's not like the other boys. He doesn't have the same rich background as everybody else, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. So basically, what I think of Gansey, I think that Gansey he's the type of character, he doesn't really care about his past or his ritzy life. He doesn't really care about that. He's an adventurous, outdoorsy type of person. And then there's Rowan, who's like this hardcore, I don't care about anybody, I do what I want, say what I want, fight who I want. And he's that type of person. He does that stuff all the time. He basically does what he wants and nobody can tell him anything. And he's not really doing too well in school either. So yeah. And also, they're called the Raven Boys too because they go to this academy called Aglenby High, and well, not Aglenby High, it's Aglenby Academy, and it's a boys' school, and it's like a prep school or whatever you want to call it, and it's in Henrietta, Virginia, and everything's fine and dandy for them. But the citizens of Henrietta, Virginia do not like the Raven Boys. In fact, they hate the Raven Boys because they think they're rich, spoiled brats who don't deserve anything and basically get life handed to them on a silver platter, which in most cases is true, but in one of the other Raven Boys case, it's not true. But basically, everybody else who attends that school, it's true. They have great backgrounds, rich parents, nice houses, fancy cars, all types of stuff like that. So that's just some of that there. And then more about Blue. Blue is the type of girl, she's just the daughter of a sidekick getting through life. She goes to the regular old high school up the road everybody else goes to. So yeah, that's her lifestyle. She's a waitress, and it's like at this diner where a lot of Raven Boys go to, and she hates it so much, but you know, she needs money, as everybody needs money. So it is what it is. And yeah, that's basically what the book is about. That's some background there. And what else to say about this? The covers are pretty. Yeah. But in the writing is actually really good in this book. This is the first Maggie Stiefvater book this is the first Maggie Stiefvater book that I've read, and I have to admit, it blew me away. This was a 5 out of 5 star read. And even though like my time spent reading it wasn't all laughs and giggles and ha ha ha, it was some of the time, especially with Blue's aunt. But the writing itself is worth 5 stars because the writing is actually really good. And the main storyline, it's so original. It's not like anything I've ever read from the YA world with all of this beautifulness back here. I mean, everything on this shelf has its own uniqueness. It's unique in its own way, but this is just like a shelf on its own. Like, this is completely different. I've never heard of anything like this. And then I guess later on in the series it involves Welsh. It gets into like some Welsh background. It gets a little bit into Welsh background in this book, but not a whole lot. We find out a little bit more about the Welsh king who Gansey and the crew are researching and looking for, and it's really good. Overall, this is a pretty good story, and I recommend it to those of you who are looking for something original and new and fresh from the YA world. So, yeah. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I'm sure I already said that, but I'm saying it again because it was great. You need to pick this book up. And I've only read this book in this series so far, but I have the sequel down at the bottom of my shelf, and eventually I might just marathon the last 3 books because The Raven King came out recently. And so I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that the story picks up a little bit more because the pacing of this book, it was slow at parts, but Blue's perspective really kept me going because I really loved seeing her perspective. And then her weird aunt Maeve, not Maeve, I forgot what her name is. Neve, she was a little weird in that one scene in the backyard. That was different, but anyway, we're not gonna talk about that because this is a spoiler-free review. So yeah, that was a little weird, but other than that, yeah, this book is really interesting. It'll keep you wanting more, and even if you can't stand the slow pacing, you'll still want to know what happens. It'll just push you right on through like that. So yeah, that's my review for The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Go check it out. Buy it. Read it. Go to the library. Do what you do. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Hit that like button, subscribe, of course, I love new subscribers, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!